Hello, my name is Mark Messingslager, Director of Financial Aid at Thomas More University, and welcome to MORETalks Minis on Financial Aid. What will happen is over the next 3 to 4 years, likely the 23-24 cycle, so 2023-24, that's when we'll really see some big changes on the FAFSA. They're actually going to get rid of some of the calculations, revamp some of the calculations, and actually completely eliminate a lot of the questions. So in its present form, the FAFSA is fine, but it's very clunky. I will like the FAFSA much better when it gets to that point, and so will families. Families, that's the most important part. Families and students will like the FAFSA much better then. The FAFSA, as we always like to say, is a one-size-fits-all form. So the student who's a senior in high school that's never done the FAFSA before, never been to college before, they're filling out the exact same form that a 4th or 5th year medical doctorate student is filling out. It's the exact same form, the exact same questions. The only difference is that the student who's a senior in high school usually has to answer questions about their parents, to where the 4th or 5th year doctorate student does not. That's really the only difference. And so there's a lot of questions on the FAFSA that can be very confusing depending on what type of student you are. So of course, most of the students in the nation are the 17 to 18-year-old high school seniors. And so that's the attempt that we try to make, is how do we simplify the FAFSA to cater towards those students. Those are the students who have never done the FAFSA before and need the most help. Students who are further on, juniors and seniors in college or even in graduate school, they've done the FAFSA before. They're actually not even eligible for as much aid at the graduate level, and so they shouldn't need that much help anyway. It's the seniors in high school that need the help. And so there's a bunch of questions that may seem confusing to students, and they absolutely are, and it's because it's a one-size-fits-all form. They're trying to conform to every single student. So what does the FAFSA actually do? So the FAFSA is, well, it stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid, FAFSA. Kind of a hard acronym to wrap your tongue around sometimes, but that is it, FAFSA, F-A-F-S-A. The website is FAFSA.gov. Of course, it's a government website, so it's going to have that .gov moniker at the end. A lot of times folks come to us and say, hey, I did the FAFSA, FAFSA.com, right? We say, absolutely not. That is not going anywhere except into a potential hacker's hands. So remember, you're applying through the federal government. It's got to be the government website, .gov. So what the FAFSA does is it actually takes all of this data, demographic data, income information. That's where a lot of folks get a little bit uneasy. It's asking for income and tax information. And our response to that usually is, well, the government's got that data anyway. You file taxes, right? This branch of the government has it. This branch of the government is asking for it. So what do? They actually allow you to tap into the IRS in many cases and just pull it from one branch of the government to the other. So a lot of folks are uneasy about physically entering in their income and tax information, but again, the government's already got it. You're just repeating it for them. And actually in a simplified way, you can go in and through what's called the IRS data retrieval tool, you can go in and tap into the IRS, plug it right into the FAFSA for you. Easy peasy, and you're done. So the FAFSA, when it comes to us, when you finish the FAFSA, it goes through the federal government, and it's going through all kinds of different little agencies, and you think of like the crime scene TV shows and films where it's going through all of these different databases, and that's exactly what's happening. It goes through the Social Security Administration, making sure you're a U.S. citizen. It goes through Department of Homeland Security, make sure you're not a terrorist. Goes through all of these different databases just to make sure everything checks out and that you are who you say you are. If there's issues, of course, we got to resolve them. 9 times out of 10 comes back through just fine, and then we actually get it here at the university about 3 to 5 days later. Then we take everything that we need, we issue scholarships, we do whatever we need to do with it. The piece that a lot of folks don't realize is in between that step from the federal government to Thomas More, it's actually going through the state government as well, at least in the state of Kentucky. If you're a Kentucky resident, it's going through that state government as well and determining what you're eligible for. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, be sure to give us a like or a share and subscribe. And if you have questions, be sure to leave those in the comments, and you might just see that answer pop up in a future video.